So this week on Kicking It with Kunkel, we are talking to one of the rookie phenoms for the Texans. And I think it's okay to call him a phenom because he leads the team in interceptions with 2. He's got an interception or a fumble recovery as well. Calen Bullock, dude out of USC, 3rd round, 78th pick overall. He has been absolutely everything that the Texans have wanted so far. If you told me that they were going to draft a kid and it's not Kamari Lassiter and he makes an impact like this already, you're in good hands. So far, just to kind of give you a little bit of a background on who he is, he's from California, went to USC like I mentioned, 2 interceptions, 1 fumble recovery. He had an interception his first game against the Colts, and then against Drake May and the Patriots, he had an interception and a fumble recovery. So he's always around the ball. He's got a great personality. So on the back end of the interview, we're going to talk about going into this Green Bay Packers game, what the Texans need to do, where I'm concerned with this game, and why I think if they win this game, it'll be their biggest win of the season. But before that, here's our interview and our conversation with Calen Bullock. All right, before we get started, what are those, as they say? What are we wearing? Show the people these things.
Just some, like, they call it toga, little shoes after practice. You don't feel like putting those shoes on. They
full
comfortable.
leather. I'm not trying to smell them. Dang. So has Steph Diggs signed off on these, being the fashionista that he claims to be?
I've seen him wear some of these before, so.
I've seen him wear some eccentric things as well.
Yeah, Diggs, the guy.
Are you a fashion guy?
I would say that, yeah. I'm
Yeah?
into fashion. Not as much as Stephon Diggs. So.
How'd you get into that? Did you get into it a lot being in Cali?
Yeah, being in California, I think fashion's big out there, and then being a kid, always seeing people wear nice clothes, and then, I always wanted nice things, so that's how I got into fashion.
Man, we were talking before we started. You're from Cali. You've never really left Cali. Played at USC. Now you're in Houston. We don't get a lot of snow here.
Good.
You've never seen snow, and you've never even been in the cold. Like you've never been like, whew.
Nah,
a little chilly.
None. Like I've never been in no negative weather or, like you said, no snow. So nothing crazy. It's been cold before. I've been like a cold.
What's cold to you?
I've been in probably the coldest was 45. That's the lowest I done been in. Nothing crazy though. That's what I said. Nothing crazy.
You're talking to a dude that's lived in Fargo, North Dakota.
Oh yeah.
The day I moved in, it was 15 to 20 below.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there were nights where it was 30 below.
I'll lose my mind. That's crazy.
You could handle it. You're an adult now.
Now I can.
You'll be all right. I mean, now you get to go to Green Bay and it's
Yeah.
70 degrees though. Now you're just getting spoiled.
Yeah, that's good.
How have you adjusted to the league, man? Because you make it look pretty easy. You had a pick in your first game. You had 2 takeaways against the Patriots, an interception and a fumble recovery. How?
I think just preparing every single week, going out there, making the most of my opportunities, trying to stay consistent every day in practice, get my hand on the ball, try to touch the ball. I know they brought me here for a reason, and the reason was to get the ball.
They tell you that? Are those the conversations you're having and being like, listen, this is your job. See ball, get ball.
I mean, it ain't like that's my job.
Right.
It's all our jobs.
Yeah.
Me being a safety, me being in the back end, the ball goes in the air. I always feel like it should be my ball. The ball goes in the air.
Have you had your welcome to the NFL moment yet where you're like, damn, this is a little different than college?
I'll probably say versus Jacksonville. Christian Kirk hit me with a double move.
Yeah, I remember that.
Move, and he was rolling.
Was that the one that was overthrown?
Yeah, overthrown. He overthrew it. So I was like, all right, he overthrew it.
You're sitting there.
But yeah, it was like next play, but yeah,
Jesus.
he was rolling though. He was rolling.
So how do you avoid that the next time? What did you see that you bid on it? Take me through that mentally.
I think it was just me being slow on my back pedal, letting him eat my cushion up, especially I'm in a post already, so just letting him eat my cushion up instead of me just getting out and, I see the route coming already, but I was just slow on my feet.
What's Meek say to you when you get to the sideline?
Really, it's nothing like on the sideline, just stay back. It's nothing crazy because, we got a lot more plays that we got to go play, so it's always the next play mentality, and we'll fix that down the line later. After the game, we're going to fix that.
Will Anderson in the offseason, first of all, beast. Have you ever seen a player like that?
No, Will is the best. Will, he makes my job easy every single day, but I see Will every single day and his mentality, what he brings to the table every single day in practice. He's the first guy out there. When he don't have to be out there at a certain time, he's out there before everybody working on the bag. So that translates to the game for him. You see that in the game. Once that finger go up in the air, you know, Will got him a sack.
What if guys like him or Daniil or CJ or anybody helped you, acclimate yourself to the NFL? Has anything really ever happened when you first got here to help you out?
I would say just seeing how those guys go about their job every single day. How they come in the facility, they leave, the work they put into their body. They always taking mental reps even when they're not in. They're always talking. You're always going to hear them talking to other guys, trying to help other people out. They're always locked in mentally. They're always focused. So I would say just seeing that every single day, it helps me a lot because now I'm focused. I know what to expect at the next level. I know how to carry myself.
And Will mentioned in the offseason that this place isn't for everybody because everybody was talking about what free agents are going to come here. Are people talking to those guys after games about it? And Will said, listen, Houston's not for everybody. What does that mean to you?
I think it's just we want great guys. It's hard to find a person with great character, especially character, and then somebody who's going to give it all every single day. We teach swarm mentality, especially for defense. Everybody, we need all 11 to the ball, everybody doing their job, and we need smart guys out there. Everybody in the NFL, you don't have a lot of those guys. So I would say, and then you think you about to come to Houston, and then, we got a lot of stars on Houston right now. So you think you about to come here and it's about to be a show or something, but no, we're serious about our work every single day.
Who have you connected with the most on this team? Who's your best friend, if you will?
It would have to be Kamari Lasner.
All right, 2 rookies, that makes sense. How have you guys connected? Because I've heard he's quiet. I haven't been able to talk to him yet.
No, he's not.
So he's got everybody fooled?
Kamari.
Because I think D'Amico described him as straight business, and you're more talkative and outgoing.
As our positions, at safety, you have to talk a lot. I have to communicate more than the corners have to communicate. Corners, they get the call and they locked in. They know we got to make a lot of adjustments, a lot of calls in the back end. So I have to talk more on the field. But Kamari, he's goofy off the field.
What do you guys do off the field? Do you guys hang out?
Yeah, we hang out, play video games, and especially we watch film together a lot because, him being a corner, me being a safety, it helps us a lot on the field, and it brings us closer. We always spend the time, go eat with each other.
What kind of games you play?
NCAA, 2K, Madden a little bit.
No COD?
He don't play Call of Duty. I do.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, I
just got a dub before I came over here.
Okay.
I had to wring my hands, make some kids cry, and get the dub. You know what I'm saying? You know how that works. Have you played with Dalton Schultz yet?
I have not.
Because he's the elite gamer, apparently.
For real?
Yeah, elite.
Dang, I didn't know that.
All set up.
I gotta ask him about that.
He is a self-proclaimed just gamer nerd.
No, I gotta ask him about that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I can't believe you didn't know that.
I'm happy you said that. I gotta ask him about that one.
Who's your team in NCAA? Is it USC?
Yeah, of course, USC. I don't play with nobody else.
Is it weird seeing them in the Big Ten now?
Yeah, it is weird, especially coming from the Pac-12. It's kind of different than the Big Ten. And then the traveling that they have to do.
Crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy traveling. So I know they have to adjust to that. But the Big Ten also got to adjust going out to California too, their time. But you're going backwards.
Yeah,
so.
it's true. And it's a lot easier to play out in sunny California.
Yeah, exactly.
Versus making that trip to Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
No, man, that's different.
It's
football.
crazy. Yeah, it's crazy seeing that.
You were there in the midst of this whole NIL thing. What's the craziest NIL deal you saw? Did you get some NIL?
Yeah.
Yeah.
NIL, a lot of people think they just give you money or
all right. So let's
they just throwing money at you.
How did you see it?
It's not. It don't work like that. So everybody gets paid on the team. It's you get paid from the boosters and the school. So everybody, no matter if you're not starting, if you're not playing, you get some type of money.
Mm-hmm.
From it's we call it House of Victory. House of Victory. It's kind of you go to a children's hospital and you spend time with children. You get paid for that, and so it's different events you have to do to get paid. And then of course you're gonna get paid if you're playing good and you're doing what you're supposed to do. They're gonna make sure they're guys they're gonna make sure their guys are good.
So how does it Caleb Williams?
Yeah.
I mean, he got a bag for sure, right?
He was a Heisman Trophy winner.
Right. So how does that work? How do you see that? How does that play out in the locker room from a dude that was just there? Because I think a lot of us talk about it as if we know, and I don't think a lot of us know because we're not in it and amongst it. Because I'll tell you my opinion on NIL, kind of just overall. I like the idea of the athletes getting paid. I think it's smart. I think it's good, and they deserve it. I also think without the guardrails, it creates this scary situation where these players can go from here to here to here to here, have just run away from situations, get paid, or like at UNLV, you're promised money and you don't get that money. So there's no guardrails, and it's a dangerous situation the way I view it. Like, what's your take on it?
I agree. I think they will have to fix that also. Like you said, kids to just go anywhere and get money, keep jumping schools, and try to get as much money they want. But like you said with Caleb Williams, it's a guy who's coming off. He's a Heisman Trophy winner, so it's like in a locker room you're not looking at that like, dang, I should be getting paid what Caleb Williams getting paid.
So you're not even in college, because in college it's a little squirrely. It's a little different than the pros.
Yeah,
right?
You gotta be realistic with yourself.
Yes.
How are you gonna be getting paid the same as a Heisman Trophy winner? That doesn't make sense. So it's never been oh, I need what he has. Oh, I need what he has. It's not like that in the locker room. Guys okay, now if you feel like you're getting you're getting shortened by your money, then that's when some guys, they have a problem with that and they hit the transfer portal or something like that. But like me, I never seen it like that. Like I'm gonna get what I deserve, and I was at USC for 3 years, so I know Lincoln Riley and them. They're gonna take care of me. I've been here all my 3 years and playing at a high level also.
So I know you can only speak to USC, but if you thought you weren't getting your money, or another dude in that locker room was like, hey, I need a raise, how do you go about that? Like, you go to coach and be like, hey, I need 10 grand more. Like, these are conversations that have never been had in college football, at least openly.
Yeah, I think that's when they go to the head coach and tell them how they're feeling. Or like you said, if I feel like they're getting shortened, they'll tell the coach like, hey, if I'm not getting this, I'm out of here. I'm gonna hit the transfer portal. And they feel like they're going to get more in the transfer portal. They're hearing this, hearing that, and that's what makes guys hit the transfer portal. And then they're seeing other kids at other schools getting these big NILs from their school. So it's like, oh, I probably could go there and get the same amount he's getting.
Do you have conversations with dudes like that? That's one of my biggest fears, is like it's all become about the money, and we've let the kids out to dry to like become adults and real men in life. Because if you chase the dollar now, you don't really learn a whole lot of lessons if you just bounce around all the time. You don't have a mentor, you don't have someone like a father figure as a coach like we all had in college. And that's another fear of mine. Did you see that? Do you have those type of conversations?
I never really had those type of conversations with guys like that. I try not to surround myself with a guy who's complaining about things like that, NIL. 'Cause I just feel like if you're doing your job on the field, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're gonna get paid. It's kind of like, I look at it like the NFL. Like those guys you see that's all pros and Pro Bowlers, they're doing their job. They're playing at a high level, and those are the guys you see getting paid the most. So it's like you can't be mad at that. You're not playing well, so you have to be realistic with yourself at the end of the day.
What's it like walking around USC campus as a football player now getting paid and having money in your pocket?
It feels good. Of course, it feels a lot better when NIL came. California being really high, it's a lot. When you got NIL, it felt good, especially for a kid like me, being a SoCal kid, and then where I come from. I know I'm in a position I can take care of myself and take care of my family, and so it put me in a position like that. Go out to eat with my teammates, and we can go. We never have to complain about the bill. It's just like, all right, let's go. Who's paying? So it feels good to do stuff like that, and you have money now. You can have fun with your guys. Y'all can all go. Like Calen Williams, for instance, he took everybody paintball shooting. Like it was like during the off season. There's things like that you can do now when you have NIL. Before NIL, you can't do nothing like that.
Outside of fun activities, what did getting the NIL deal mean for you personally?
It just, outside of like getting money, it just helped me like prepare for the next level. Like I said, with NIL, you still have to do these endorsements. You still have to do a lot of stuff outside of football. So it helps you for the next level. So when I do have an endorsement deal, I do have a signing I have to go do. And then it just helps you manage money, because you're getting a lot of money as a young age, and you think, dang, I could do all this with this money. But now you have to think about taxes. You have to think about you got to think about a lot of stuff now. So then once I got to this point, it's like, okay, I'm coming from NIL. I know how to manage money. I know what not to do and what to do. So I think it helps young kids in that area too. Like, you're getting a lot of money, but it still teaches you how to manage the money because, you know, we come from not having anything. You don't want to get this money, spend it all, and go back to nothing.
Did you get educated on like financial literacy?
And then like they give you classes for stuff like that, especially in the off, like summer programs. You're getting taught these things, especially in college. They're not just giving you all this money and you don't know what to do. Like,
because that's the stuff you hear, right?
Yeah.
It's like these kids get this bag and then it's the Wild West.
I know USC ain't
right,
do that.
right.
I can't speak for other schools, but I know we wasn't just doing that.
I mean, USC's a good spot to be for NIL, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
You enjoy being in the NFL overall? Like, are you having fun yet, or is it like a job? How is it?
It's both. I'm having fun, and I know it's my job. Every single day I look at it, it's my job. I have to come in here, and I have to do my job. I have to be the best I can be for my team to be successful. So I would say I'm having fun. The guys around me, my vets in my room, they push me every single day, and we make sure each other is always going after, and we always giving our all every single day.
Have you gotten in Sting's ear, the fact that you lead the team in INTs?
Nah, I ain't got Sting ear, but Sting, that's my guy. We always talk about like the best ball skills. Coach Frank, he made a joke. He didn't even make a joke. I wouldn't even call it a joke. He said like in special teams meeting, he was like, I got the best ball skills on the team. And then when he said it, I looked right at Sting, and then Sting was looking at me, and we just laughed because it's like we both know, like, I know Sting has great ball skills, like, so we always just joking. And then the Vikings game, he knocked the ball out of my hand. I was just joking with him like, "Oh, you was hating on me."
Personal.
Like, yeah, you tried to get, you was personal. But it was just joking around. But nah, Sting, it's all love with Sting.
Man, Halloween's coming up. Favorite costume you've ever worn?
Favorite costume, I'll probably say Spider-Man as a kid. Every kid has been Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man, that was my favorite costume as a kid.
Cotton candy, I mean not cotton candy, what's that stuff called? Candy corn. Terrible or amazing?
Terrible.
Terrible, thank you. Everybody that sat in that chair said it's terrible.
Nah, terrible, nah.
Oh, and also, how do you say your last name?
Bullock.
Bullock, so everyone's getting it wrong. So I've talked to Henry To'oto'o, which is To'oto'o,
Yeah.
not To'oto'o. Henry To'oto'o, nailed it. Darian Gumbawale, of course, had some funny stories of how people are pronouncing his names. And yours is Bullock.
Yeah, Bullock.
Because people are saying Calen Bullock.
Yeah, Bullock. Yeah, I know.
I'm sure
it's
you get
Bullock.
that all the time.
Yeah.
You hear that, people? Bullock. Calen Bullock.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man, thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Bro.
Appreciate having me.
So I hope you guys enjoyed that conversation. If you did, or even if you didn't, fake it and share it with everybody on YouTube or on Fox Local. Download the Fox Local app on your phone as well. It is now on your phone, which is awesome. Now let's talk about the Texans. Let's talk about this Packers game, because this, I think, is the biggest test for the Texans this season. One, you're going on the road to Green Bay, not an easy place to play. Two, the Packers are good. And three, the Texans, at least as I sit here and talk to you, are banged up. Azeez Al-Shaair, Henry To'oto'o at the linebacker position, and Kamari Lassiter sounds like he's going to be out for a little bit at the cornerback spot. If you don't have your first two linebackers against Jordan Love and the Packers, you're in for a world of hurt. You're in for some potential, a lot of miscommunication. And then on the offensive side of the ball, this team ran the ball extremely well against the Patriots. The Patriots aren't a good team. They ran the ball well against the Colts. The Colts aren't a good team. Now, in between those, against the, let's get this all situated perfectly, against the Bears, the Vikings, the Jaguars, and the Bills, they did not run the ball well. And now they also didn't have Joe Mixon. Now, when I say they didn't run the ball well, take a look at these numbers. So, sandwiched in between the Colts, where Mixon had 159 rushing yards, and against the Patriots, where he had 102, and the team had 192. In between that, the leading rusher was Cam Akers. Cam Akers was now traded for a 6th-round conditional pick to the Vikings, which, by the way, I think is a fine pick. Now with Joe Mixon and Dameon Pierce back, there's not really a spot for him because Darian Gumbawale has certainly proven to be serviceable out of the backfield. So, as I was saying, Cam Akers was the leading rusher with 32 yards, 21 yards, 53 yards, and 42 yards. You're not winning meaningful games down the stretch late in the season with that kind of rushing production. That's not a knock on Cam Akers, but this rushing attack, until they do it against a good defense, I'm still skeptic of. And that's what they're going to see against the Packers, the 9th best rushing defense in the NFL. I believe the Patriots were 19 and the Colts are 31st in the NFL. So between not having Joe Mixon and then playing bad defenses when he's there, I'm not really sure which is which. Like, what are you going to get? Are you going to be able to run the ball well against the Packers because you have Joe Mixon, or are you not going to be able to run the ball well because the Packers are good at stopping the run? We will find out. But that's my concern. The boys are 5-1. If they lose this game and fall to 5-2, it's not a big knock. I'm still looking at this team and how they play. Do they lose in a shootout? Do they lose in there because they can't score because they can't run the ball? Are they unable to stop Jordan Love because of injuries? And if so, then there's a little bit of caveat there, and you put a little asterisk next to the loss. But if they win this game, I think it's their biggest win of the season. Up to this point, I don't know what you guys think. Comment below if you're watching on YouTube or hit me up on X. What's their biggest win? It's got to be the Bills, right? I mean, they made Josh Allen look absolutely pedestrian in that game. He went 9 of 30. He looked like a bad quarterback. He's not a bad quarterback. Despite what Bills fans think DeMeco Ryans was saying when he said Jordan Love is going to be the best quarterback they've faced so far. He was not taking shots at anybody. And shout out to the Vikings fans that also got into my feed saying that Sam Darnold lit him up. Yes, he did. Kudos. But this Packers game, if they win this game, I think will be their best win and their biggest win of the season, bar none. They're going to have to run the ball well. I think they're going to have to get healthy. My prediction is that they lose. I don't think they win this game. Obviously, I would love to be wrong, but I think it's going to be a tough game for them to win. Kind of looking at other conversations I'm seeing on social media, it's actually kind of interesting. The expectations of this team has lent themselves to fans wanting perfection and fans getting pissed off that they didn't score 60 against the Patriots, or pissed off that Bobby Slowick isn't calling the game that they want. You put up 41 on an NFL team. Be happy. You won by 20. Be happy. It's the first time you won a game this season that wasn't by one possession. You didn't have to sweat it. Be happy. That doesn't mean it was perfect. It doesn't mean that there weren't things to fix going forward. There's still questions to be answered. But because of the expectations, because of all the weapons, because of what you expect this team to be, and we watch it under a microscope here in Houston, you see so many imperfections that you're wanting perfection. And I don't think you're ever going to get that. The goal right now, when you run the ball, is to not always break it free for a touchdown and always to run for nearly 200 yards like they did the Patriots. The goal right now is to be able to set yourself up for success late in the season. Can you run the ball late in the season? You've got to figure out these kinks. You've got to figure out your scheme. You've got to figure all of this out so that you can run the ball late in the season, because if you want to win those games late in the season and into the playoffs and potentially play for a Super Bowl, you're not going to do it one-dimensionally. You have to be able to run the ball. You have to run the ball to set up the pass. You got to be able to pass to set up the run, which is what I think they might do against the Packers, because they are vulnerable in their secondary. I know Jair Alexander's a stud, but I also think that this week they might use the pass to set up the run a little bit more. And Bobby Slowick's been fine. He is not, again, under the microscope, he hasn't been perfect. I understand that. The opening play, the series against the Bills was atrocious. It was kind of weird and odd and didn't have a plan, it didn't look like. But overall, he's been good. And I was looking at some numbers. Let's see if I can find them here. The explosive plays really kind of moved around the numbers for the Texans. So, yeah, I got the numbers here. So they had 28 total runs. They had 16 of those. 16 of those were for 3 yards or fewer against the Patriots. 9 of them were 3 yards or more, and they had 3 explosive plays. Here's where Bobby Slowick and the offense is going to look to get better. They got to get rid of the 7 runs that either were for negative yards or 0 yards. That's what they kind of want to eliminate. Not every play is built to go the distance. Joe Mixon has the ability to take a play that's designed to go for 4 or 5 yards and turn it into 59 yards, as we've seen. He also has the ability to lean on a defense, tire them out, take a play that's designed for 4 or 5 runs, and because they're now tired and they're like, dude, I am not tackling Joe Mixon in this situation. Like, I'm tired, I'm done, I'm making a business decision to take that into a longer play and then ice the game. But that's why the Texans have played so many tight games. In those games against the Bears, Vikings, Jaguars, and Bills, they did not have the ability to run the ball. So when you don't have the ability to run the ball, you can't control the clock. And if you can't control the clock, then you can't keep their offense off the field, preventing them from scoring. Because offenses will score in the NFL. You saw what Drake May did. That was his first ever career start, and he looked pretty damn good. But you gave up 21 points. Not ideal. But it kind of goes to show you that teams are going to score, and it's really hard to stay focused and stay locked in and dominate for 4 quarters. It will happen from time to time. But I promise you, as an outsider, looking at that final score, they're going to say, oh, damn, Texans waxed the Patriots. And they did. And they probably even beat them more than the score indicated because of some of those plays that Drake May was able to make. But to my point, they want to be able to run the ball so that they don't have to play those games so tight. Like that Bills game was, let me get this right. It was 20-3 at one point. Yeah, 20-3 at one point. The Bills scored on 3 straight, not possessions, but they scored 3 straight times before the Texans finally scored as time expired on that Kaimi Fairbairn 59-yarder. So you want to run the ball to be able to keep it's like a dual effect. To keep the other team off the field, you want to control the clock, and it helps you score points and pass the ball better. So with all of that said, this weekend against the Packers is going to be very tough. Please share this. Please like this. Please spread this. Kicking It with Kunkel every single week. And I want to give you a tease that coming up in some near weeks, we're going to have a sit down with Kelvin Sampson. We were able to lock down Calvin. He's a very busy man, head coach of Houston Cougars basketball. The dude is a wealth of knowledge. I could talk to that dude forever when it comes to basketball and just life. He's seen so much. He's experienced so much that he's going to be a great interview. And I hope you guys enjoy Kicking It with Kunkel. Until next time, out.